Hello, I came back. It's 3:10 p.m. Tuesday, September 11th, 2012. This is going to be a status update. My trip to the capital went terrific. Um, I basically got the answers to most of my questions. The questions that I did not get the answers to are because, well, the young people that were helping me, the dedicated people on the ground that are responsible for everything. Um, the government is not up to date on the technological standards of society, and they're aware of it, but the leadership, the administration is just not. So I'll just share with you exactly my questions that I had written down and just some of the information that I found. The questions I had was, can I solicit money from other districts? Yes. Can I solicit money from other states? Yes. Can I solicit money from other nations of the UN? No. And there's a little tricky here. I'll go over that. I didn't ask this question. Is the donation tax deductible? It's not there. It's the Federal Election Commission, FEC. I need to ask that question. The Federal Election Commission, that's the federal government. I went to the state government. Can I ask for food, money, clothing for my personal needs? I'm going to be requesting an opinion from the advisory board. They have the basic idea, but I might need to submit something more detailed, a detailed plan of how I would be doing something like that. Just simply because I cannot solicit money from people for my political campaign, and then when I go home, I say, you know what, 50% of it's going to go to my campaign, 50% of it's going to go to my food, while the person is under the impression that all of it's going to my campaign. So there's that thing that's there. It's unusual for people to be like that, but I'm an unusual person. Um, can I ask for can I ask for clothing for political endeavors? It would just be an in-kind contribution. And then can I ask a donation of property for my campaign endeavors? Yes, it would be an in-kind contribution, which is limited to $2,600 per person. Um, the way that some of the Republicans and the Democrats, and there are bigger organizations that I can file myself under that would give me a bigger allowance, and in some cases an unlimited amount of money that I could get from a single individual. But there's no reason for me to do that. And I just want to keep it simple. I don't need that much money. These are simple things that I would be requesting. Then I resolved the issue of payments of services rendered to my campaign, such as website design, programming, and what the way that would be done is, because I have no money to begin with, um, I would basically make a contract with whoever's going to be assisting me with that I feel is reasonable for me to pay them money for their services. I would have a contract before we start, and it would just be an outstanding obligation that I would need to settle for when there are funds available in the campaign treasure chest, so to speak, or at a later point specified in the contract. So it's based on the contract. Um, and there's other ways where I could get more, for instance, from the municipal or Bergen uh, Republican slash Democratic committee, I could receive an unlimited amount of funding. So for if there are some Republicans that I'm pretty sure I would be music to the Republicans, music to their ears once I begin my campaign, um, as I would, as they are the more affluent members of our society, I would expect that they would be able to, you know, chip in a little bit, because I would be music to their ears, just like I would be music to everybody. I'm not appealing to a certain demographic, but to the entire demographic, rich or poor, healthy, sick, old or young. That's what representation means, of buy-in for the people. I'm not going to systematically just only appeal to a certain demographic of people. That's not representation. Yeah, that's not representation. That's the whole idea wrong with the whole Democratic and Republican system, is because they don't hold their allegiance to the United States, to the Constitution, to the Democratic ideals or the Republican ideals, not to the United States, to the Constitution, and that's flawed logic.
And I will go over and explain that through due diligence, etc. I wrote down, just for the sake of myself understanding this, my salary would be $49,000 a year. I would have an allowance of $110,000 for staff. Plus, I would receive 12,500 postage stamps. I don't know why, but this was, this is based on like a 1950s model. I would receive some stationery, like I guess personal cards, not business cards. I'm not in business. They're called personal cards. A telephone card so I can call people. I don't know. It's such a flaw. Just the whole thing needs to be restructured and put into the 21st century. And I would receive New Jersey health insurance, which is good. I don't have any health insurance throughout my life. I think my family has been responsible for paying over at least $10,000 for dental care out of pocket, cash. So I would need to get in touch with the federal FEC, Federal Election Commission, to get a question on the tax deduction. I'm pretty sure it is on the federal tax income. You can write off the campaign contributions, because you can write off non-profit organizations. So it's because it's a federal regulation. Now the nations, they would get back to me. No, I would need to get to the FEC. So for instance, if somebody is a citizen or a resident of the United States of America, but they're living in Canada, let's say, and they have dual citizenship, or they have dual residences. Some people have that. And then again, that's the tax deduction question. I would need to ask the IRS, which I will ask when I go back to do my own taxes. And then I found out there are 566 municipalities in the state of New Jersey, and there's only 70 in the Bergen County. So, I mean, the county that I'm going to be representing is going to be like 30%, or, 10, 20. I don't know. In-state contribution purposes, legal staff, that's what they have there. There's some club, continuing political party, association, or group. That's groups can donate, associations can donate. Like, let's say a book club. Some residents have some things set up where every so often they meet together and they read books. It's generally a woman thing. It's just, you have to understand American culture, and there's a lot of variations in lifestyles. R1. I've also signed up for another course that I need to take the September 19th, 10 a.m. I'll go. It's a course that's required to teach me how to use the software, which will be provided to me, and for the purpose of electronically filing campaign finance documents to the state of New Jersey. Just in case I were to raise over $100,000 a year, over $100,000, it would be a requirement for me to electronically file, and not file through either mailing of the letters or going to the website. It would just be done in the fashion like if somebody's aware of. There's some software that does your taxes for you, and you just simply fill in the stuff and then they send it in. It's called electronic filing. Oh, cash. I can receive $200 cash up to. I can receive up to $200 cash per person. So I would need to be able to, like, again, the checks, and it all has to be an electronic record. So that's why there's a limit on cash. I could use PayPal. I need an advisory opinion on internet. No, there's an advisory opinion I need to read. 040/2001. Signatures, search reports. For all the documents that I will be submitting to the state of New Jersey, they will be available for public record viewing purposes. Like, I can view all the public record of all the candidates, of how much money they're raising. And it's usually published 1 week, within a week or around a week. There's a week turnover rate for when documents are submitted to when they're published on the internet. What is this? FDIC
stored. I don't know what that is. On public property, I cannot solicit my campaign. I cannot go to the police department and do whatever. I can educate them, but I cannot ask them to vote for me on public property or tell them about my campaign. I can educate them though. It's advocacy of voting, which will be part of my campaign. That's okay. And then just to give you an idea of what my name requirement would be, it would be Kiddukine number 4 assembly. Quite simple, but I don't know, there's something I could do with it. And I would need, to get started, I just simply need 100 signatures from the residents of the district. That should be simple. Okay, September 19th, 10 a.m. And I found out that I could use public transportation to get to the Capitol much faster than driving. By taking a train, I can look into it. And I can use the train tickets and the gas I spend in the car as a campaign expense. There will be a lot of traveling. I'm thinking I'm going to contact a professor of mine that I had when I attended Burn Community College a number of years ago. He taught me Logic 1. Then I took Logic 2 honors. I didn't do so well, but I got the gist of it. Logic is quite complicated, but it's important. His name is Tobin C. DeMarco. I got his number. I called him, left him a message. I got his email for when he doesn't call me. I'm going to just send him an email. I'm going to just run some ideas with him, see how he feels about it, see if he wants to get involved. And this is what I got from that whole thing. This is basically would explain everything that I need to know, on top of me getting the business card, the personal card for the person, so I could call them, I can email them, and I can ask them questions. And I think they're very interested in helping me, as I am an unusual candidate. Again. So what I'm thinking to do now is to take a small break and just start reading this. It shouldn't take me too long. There's a lot of documents here, and it's just some legal, it's all about money related, basically. It's money related stuff. I need to get a better understanding to make sure I don't do something I shouldn't do. So none of it's really all that complicated. It's just rules and policies about how to go about collecting the money properly, and just tidbits like that, the formalities, I guess. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just take a break and do that, because I mean, it's not a big concern of mine to have all the comments answered as quickly as possible. The gist of it, I think I answered the more important ones already. From some of the more important videos, I think I did. I just have the video game comments left from the June 22nd of 2012. At the same time, I did some filming where today on my way to Trenton, the capital of New Jersey, to do, and I shared some profound government ideology when I was there, and I'll have my friend put it together. It's beautiful. It would be music to everybody's ears. At the same time, this is good practice for me, because I don't plan to compel people based on their emotional dissatisfaction or emotional need. It will be purely running on logic and reason. We have too much of that today, where politicians exploit the weakness in people's emotions to compel them. That's not an argument. When you use emotion to compel somebody to agree with you, that's not an argument. Government is based on reason and logic, of by and for the people. No man is above the law. That's two basic ideals, which will be the foundation for my campaign and elected office duty. I think that's all I wanted to share. Let me think. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So everything's, going the way it's going. I mean, it's supposed to be going, or the way I planned for it to be going. So, I mean, there's no surprises so far. I'm not surprised by anything. Or discouraged. Quite honestly, I'm more encouraged because of the letter I received from Eddie, which kind of gave me gave me some encouragement because, you know, I think I see it in people's eyes. They feel like something is so wrong, but they just don't know how to say it, or they don't know how to, I don't know. I hate to say to call them cowards, but um, these are serious things. This is Most people don't want to, you just assume or you want it to be, you take care of all this stuff, and then I'm gonna just live my life. But what seems to be happening is we just don't have enough we don't have enough people to be doing these things that people are expecting or thinking that there's somebody out there doing all these things. There really isn't. Um, that's the reality of the situation. It's a digressed. That's how digressive it has gotten. Things haven't gotten better the past 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They've gotten worse. The economy was just a hiccup. If serious things aren't resolved, like these fundamental things, then I don't see a future for America. It'll just crumble. But it's unlikely. Again, I have faith and I have hope. I'm not certainly not the only person out there doing this. It's just that I haven't found them and I haven't connected with them. That's all it really needs. And so, oh, I'm gonna stop by my neighbor's house to see if he's finished reading the Citizen's Almanac, as I need that to, do some more writings, using some points from it as references to some educational material that I plan to have created, and some of my political messages. Oh, one of the things I inquired was at the same time, um, well, on my campaign, I plan to have. There's certain things I'm gonna at some point just stop talking about, publicly speaking, just so I don't have, so other people don't steal my ideas, my opposition. People are gonna be running up against me, or because they would do something like that. I'm not gonna steal anything from them, but they would steal something from me. And these words means more to me than the dollar that they're chasing. So it would be important for me. At the same time, they don't know what these words mean. They can say them all they want, but they don't know what it means. Okay, I'm gonna head off. I guess it's good for you, I guess, for the viewer watching this. At least there's somebody who's trying to fix this whole system of government. So that gives you a reassurance that, there's a life, there's a future, and there's a life for you. Assuming you're part of the citizenry in the United States, but even in the world. I mean, these are, a lot of people, a lot of countries in the world, a lot of people in the world, they look up to the United States for ideas on how to better their own society, or just to simply compare and, what is it that we're doing wrong here, what is it that they're doing right there. That's the way it needs to be approached, all of it. Um, just objectively problem solving, no nonsense which is happening, and I'm completely okay with it, going about it. I'm not concerned about how other people are doing what it is that I plan on doing. I'm just gonna do it tremendously better than them, and people will see. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm wrong about any of this. I might maybe make a mistake on how I might present something, or I might be wrong about a particular idea to a solution to a problem. But that's why, a part of my plan is to be surrounded by experts and people I can go to for advice and consultation, who are going to give me an honest opinion, not simply because they want to put money into their pockets. There are plenty of people like that. Like I said, I'll find them, or they will find me. Having said all that, I will be going now. Hopefully later today I'll have that video uploaded. I'll have my friend again edit that video. You can see some fun stuff. Thank you. Oh, James, if you watch this, and then you posted a comment, you know, that's pretty cool, I guess. Whatever, you know, just worry about yourself. Don't worry about any of this, unless you want to step up and try to address world problems or problems in government or social problems. Other than that, I mean, it's all right for most people to just live their lives, but there's just some basic fundamental things that you should be aware of. That just your simple fact that you're a citizen, you have these rights, even though you're in a different country, you have these rights, and if you don't utilize them, you really need to think about that, because there's parts in the world where people don't have these rights that you have, and they're suffering right now, and they're having revolutions, and they're doing whatever they can. I'm not talking about just simply the Middle East, but all over the world. North Korea, I mean, I don't want to go on make this into a foreign affairs issue, but I want to keep it simple and focus on America's problems, because if we can solve America's problems, we can solve the world's problems, because you know, I can't imagine a better government than these two basic fundamental rules. No man is above the law, which means that there is a definite law, and a government of, by, and for the people. I cannot imagine a monarchy doing a better job, an oligarchy doing a better job, anarchy, no government doing a better job. And there's other, you know, this is the United. You know, there's too simple. You know, I'll adjust this, but there's a misconception about the form of government in the United States. We have a republic. A lot of people think we have a democracy. No. We have a republic, but we democratically elect representatives. A lot of people think we have democracy. No. There's two differences between having a democratic form of government and a republican form of government. But in terms of elections, you can have democratically elect representatives or appointed representatives by a third party, or just simply whatever. It's possible. But we don't have a democracy here. We have the rule of law and a republic. Democracy would imply that at any point in time, the majority of the people, at any point, once they feel like they want a certain right, or they don't want a certain right, they could just instantly change it. And there's problems with that, because you have to consider it would then be theoretically possible to exploit systematically everybody at the exact same time, their emotional weakness, and then change the government overnight. No, everything has to be done cautiously, slowly, reasonably, but at the same time compassionately. Compassion must be utilized, because you know, just that's necessary. I'm not going to go into the role of compassion in government in today's 21st century society, but it's important today. It might not have been as important in the 1700s and 1600s, but today it is important. Adios.